What's up, guys? So I found the charger to my camera and now I can use it again. This actually isn't the first video that I recorded again, like reusing this camera. I did a video with Mark about a week ago that may or may not be put out tonight, I don't know. But I wanted to throw out a discussion video because I haven't done that in a while. Last one I did was on fear, and I figured might as well bust out the old camera and start talking because I've had something on my mind lately. What I was thinking about was this whole controversy with PewDiePie and his supposed anti-Semitic comments or whatever. Let's just get this out the way. Obviously, he's not a Nazi. He is not an anti-Semite. He's not a sympathizer, blah blah blah, you know, whatever. You know, it's not even my place to even talk about this, really. You know, I'm just a dude with a small channel, not even related to PewDiePie, but, you know, I had it on my mind and I figured I could do a discussion video about this. What I was thinking about is how far do you have to take a joke before it becomes offensive? Because what he said was that he meant it as a joke. He didn't mean it as a actual statement. And like the jokes he made weren't even really anti-Semitic, but he still did say, you know, some stupid jokes and it backfired on him. And you know, that happens to all of us every once in a while. I've been there. I've made a joke that people didn't take too kindly to. So we're human beings, we make mistakes. Whatever. He makes a habit out of telling dark jokes or dark humor and pushing boundaries. You know, he's the one who tells YouTube usually. I mean, he's the biggest person on YouTube. He tells them when they're screwing up. He's not afraid to speak up about these things, or he's not afraid to speak about certain things. So when he pushes boundaries, it has a profound effect. Usually in the positive way, but when he does it and it backfires on him, especially when he's at 50 million people watching him, it can be, I wouldn't say catastrophic, but I mean, it hurt him. He lost his contract with Disney and he lost his show. So, you know, it backfired. But obviously, people have been taking what he's saying out of context. He was doing this, or something like that, and they're like, he's a Nazi. He's anti-Semite. Come on, let's be real here. I mean, a lot of this can be chalked up to common frickin' sense. A lot of this was taken out of context. Like I said, not to say he didn't tell some stupid jokes and it backfired on him, but give the man a break. It's ridiculous how you can say something and say something completely different than what is shown. And it is just blown out of proportion, man. Because I looked at some of the articles. Anti-Semite YouTuber gets Disney's contract revoked or something ridiculous like that. And I was just thinking, how far is too far? When does a joke become offensive? I mean, you know, dark humor is something very, like, effective. And it's something that we see a lot of, especially on social media, like memes. Memes use it a lot. So, like, there's this one that I see a lot where, you know, you'll have something flying through the air or something or whatever, and it hits the Twin Towers. Like, it goes from, like for example, they had that one episode of SpongeBob where Patrick was flying through the air and then it just panned to like a plane hitting the Twin Towers. And, you know, it's unfortunately funny. Like, you know you're not supposed to laugh at it, but it still makes you laugh. And you don't know why. It's hard to explain why these things make us laugh. Either that, or you have those stupid memes where it's like the B movie script, but every time they say B, it's replaced with the N-word. And, you know, it's unfortunately funny. You know it's bad. It's a racial slur. And you still laugh at it. And it's unfortunately funny. You know people died 9/11, but you still laugh. Then I'm not gonna say everybody laughs. You know, some people don't find it funny. I'm not gonna say I haven't laughed at it, I'm guilty, I'm not gonna be a hypocrite, but you don't even kid yourself. You know, a lot of you have laughed at those. I don't know why. It's like, I guess it's just beyond our expectation, because, I mean, if something that happens out of our expectations, you know, we laugh at it. But you don't expect, you know, Patrick to turn into a plane and hit the Twin Towers, and you don't expect to hear Keemstar scream the N-word at you every time someone says B. It's just, you don't see it coming, so it makes you laugh. But where does something become so pushing it that it's not even funny anymore, and it becomes offensive, and it gets people up in arms? The whole social justice warrior, crazy feminist joke, that's very popular. And you know, a lot of those jokes are pretty funny. But some of them, they take it so far. You know, a lot of people throw out the argument, you know, it's just a joke, relax. But, you know, these are kind of serious things, you know. I mean, I'm not gonna say I support, like, super radical feminism, but, you know, feminism is, like, a thing. You shouldn't just crap on them before it, but, you know, that doesn't give them the right to act crazy. You know, you have the whole triggered meme, you know, that was based off of making fun of people losing their minds. You know, they had the whole social justice warrior people, you know, that's not funny, and you know, and then people make fun of them for it. You know, it's funny, but when does it become so bad that it's not even funny anymore? It's dark humor, like, it's just, it's very strange. It's a very taboo subject, because I feel like people are even gonna get mad at me for even talking about it. We all are taught that we all have opinions, and sometimes people get a little too opinionated. People think their opinions are better than others, or people think other people's opinions are less than them. And that can create a lot of backlash, a lot of controversy, because, you know, one person might find this funny or not offensive, and another person might think this is the most hurtful thing in the world. Why is this even debatable? Like, something is so wrong that's like, this shouldn't even be a something to debate about, or something's like, just like, chill out, man, it's just a joke. It's just, when does it cross the line? When does it become too much? You still do get people who overreact to things. Like, I mean, take the humongous guy. There's a man, I guess he was at something that was feminist related. She walks up to this guy and she asked him what is his name. And as a joke, this is an example of something that's just a joke and that shouldn't be taken seriously. He says his name is Humongous. It's like a dad joke. Humongous. And she goes, humongous what? Humongous what? This man just sexually assaulted me. And he's just like, what? And he has a, you know, it's justifiable for him to be put off like that because he told a dad joke. And she lost her mind. She goes on to say, to scream at the top of her lungs that he sexually assaulted her. Screaming, this man just sexually assaulted me. So then the cops get involved. She's like, this man just sexually assaulted me. And they're like, ma'am, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave the building. He's like, you're asking me to leave the building? You, what? I get sexually assaulted and I'm asked to leave the building and and he's like, you're screaming at me? And the cop was literally just like, it's a joke. Humongous. That's it. And then she took it a step further. She went on to make a video and just talking all this ridiculousness. I won't completely get into it. She was talking about all the hate. And like, this is an example of a dark joke, but that's kind of funny. Where she was an Indian woman, and one of the comments was, I wish that dot between your forehead was an off button. And obviously I laughed extremely hard because I thought it was pretty funny. You know, it could be considered offensive because you're making fun of someone's religion, but it was never that serious, and she was acting crazy to begin with. But back on the subject of just people taking things out of proportion, out of context, you know, there is always a realm of common sense. You should always use your common sense to kind of gauge a situation. Obviously, he knows that it would be a very stupid idea to actually be anti-Semitic, but that didn't stop him from making the joke. Obviously, he wouldn't be doing something ridiculous like that. He is the biggest person on YouTube, and it wouldn't make sense for him to do that, even though he did make some stupid jokes. Not to say that it was an excuse, but it's just, it doesn't make any sense that he would purposefully say he was anti-Semitic or a Nazi. That is literally preposterous. I mean, that is just making, you're just jumping to conclusions. And you should see the amount of articles it goes on and on and on. It's ridiculous, man. This kind of just like ties into respecting each other. He's a dude. He's a regular human being. We all make mistakes. He gets a lot more crap for it because he's a very popular, well-known person. He's still a human being. He is just trying to survive in this world like everybody else. He makes videos. He's an entertainer. But come on, man. Calling him an anti-Semite and a Nazi, you know, taking everything he ever says out of context is just ridiculous. I understand it's a joke, but, you know, we still have to be realistic. We still have to be real and stay within the realm of reason. You can tell a joke, but you should always know your boundaries. And when you take that joke a little too far, you could be hurting a lot of people. So that's why, you know, it is important to respect people and respect their boundaries, respect your boundaries, so you're not embarrassing yourself and somebody else, because you can really hurt somebody that way. It's a very interesting subject, man. It's very strange. Why something dark or why something controversial or even wrong can be funny. It's very strange. But I'll keep this one short, and as I've got 2 other videos to edit or make or whatever. But I'd love to hear your comments and your concerns or your thoughts. Please leave them in the comments, because this is something that's it's not like a bandwagon thing, but it's something hot for discussion right now. Like the video he made, his response is like on the top #1 recommended videos list. So, you know, it's something that's very pressing at the moment. So, thank you so much for watching, and as always, peace out, y'all.